Greetings, my beloved, from left to right. Thank you so much for coming to my digital empire. This is Weda Kid and Key. I am so happy and excited today to make this video because it's about American heroes. I am neither a fan of DC nor Marvel, but I am a fan of real time heroes who are, I would say, forgotten in this time. I don't hear a lot of black people relating themselves to these heroes, but they left a big mark on our identity and on how we see ourselves. So I would like to talk about this. I'm glad that I'm able to use this day, January 17th, where the American and all of the Black nation celebrates Martin Luther King as an excuse even to talk about how we relate to the white man and how the white man influences our consciousness in general. It's reasonable that we are Pan Africans, and we have all of the right reasons to defend ourselves, to represent ourselves. Because this morning I woke up and I felt a template, a template on the collective, that the unworthiness template that that's been imprinted on us as black nations by how we were relating to white men and how we were treated and seen by the white man, you know what I mean? So when you feel not enough, when you feel unworthy in this life, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous in a sense. If you don't feel like you're worth anything, you're worth love, or you're worth respect, if you don't feel like you're worth abundance in this life, you are not in your manifestation power. Your manifestation power is all about, sorry about that. Your manifestation power is all about how you see yourself. So I don't think the biggest oppression from the white man is just the how they were like banning black people, for example, to use the same bus as white men, or like separating the schools, and like um, limiting black people from accessing certain facilities, public places, right? All of these ways how we were treated as black nation in general. I am Ethiopian for this lifetime, but I don't know to be exactly who I was and how I lived in some of my past lives. So you see, like, I felt it, I feel it, I feel it in the same way, I would say, as Americans too. Because even though my country has never been colonized, and which I am proud of, um, I have that black nation template on me as well. And this feeling of not enough, or I have to prove something to the rest of the world, or I don't deserve love, I don't deserve abundance, I don't deserve to be empowered. I see it in people, in black people who are so powerful. I see that resistance because of how they were treated by the white men. So it's very crucial that we talk about each other. We remember the works of the ones before us, because it's because of them that we are here. Honestly, I honor my ancestors so much. I talk about my ancestors. I connect to the spirit of my ancestors all the time, because this motherland has been protected by them. We don't know what happened in history. Sometimes what the book is telling us and what actually happened in that time might be very, very different. You never know how they have been struggling to preserve this land for us. So for me, identity is everything. The reason why I put this mission above everything in my life is because without an identity, without a healthy sense of identity, you can't say you even exist, right? So that's why I came here to talk about it. I want to say a lot of things, so I had to write them down. I'm not a historian. Honestly, like, when I was doing a research on some things before I came to the camera to do this, I was thinking about the Rastaman. Like, I have so much respect for you. I was doing a research on Prince Zara Jacob. Prince Zara Jacob, he is the grandson of Emperor Haile Selassie. So I wanted to read about him because of a personal reason. So all of every documentation that's told about him, either on Facebook or in other social media parts, were written by the Rastaman. Even me myself, I've been doing this for a year now. I've been shooting videos for a year, but it's when I mentioned the Rastaman. It's when I made myself global and viral that I get credit. I got the credit that I deserved. So I have so much respect for the Rastaman. It doesn't matter what color you are or from which parts of the world you are. For me, Rasta is someone who knows history. Rasta is someone who's not brainwashed and uh, who sustains our identity from generation to generation. So you have so much respect from me to you. um, I applaud you so much, for real. So Martin Luther King, for me, like the biggest initiation to make this video, this was told for me, this information was given to me by African American that I'm dating right now as we speak. So he told me that today America celebrates him, and that got me to want to to do a research on him and Malcolm X, which I've been doing for a long time. I've been studying the relationship between Ethiopia and America, or like in general Africa and the United States. Actually, I was just curious about the indigenous ones, like Caribbeans, African Americans, Black Americans. I was curious about that. So, and also at this point in my life, I'm surrounded by Black Americans. Starting from the place I live, I rented it from Black Americans, husband and wife, and then I am currently healing with my African American sisters. I treat them and they treat me. It's very wonderful to heal with my sisters, and yet I'm dating a very beautiful soul. He's my soulmate, African American. So like I am very conscious of American history in general, and given February is Black History Month, I'm really motivated to embody the essence of Americans. And also when you have some intimacy, some kind of intimacy with someone, like there's an energy exchange. And I think the energy exchange that happened between me and the person that I'm dating, uh, all of that made me feel like, as if I have a personal concern in the history of America, which I have always been feeling, but not as strongly as I am now. So you understand where I'm coming from. But like in the meantime, I saw I got a download. I would say I got a download on the Emperor Haile Selassie and John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X. They existed in similar time, which is 1945, like 1950s, 1960s, and even before or after that. But it's around this time that this American civil rights movement had begun, right? And that led to the assassination of a lot of beautiful souls like Malcolm X himself and Martin Luther King. Even John F. Kennedy was killed, and he was visited by the emperor 3 weeks before he was killed, which got me even still to question, what's the connection between all of these things, right? So Fred Hampton, Harry, and his wife, right? And then Mudgar Evers, Lewis Allen, James, and Andrew Goodman. All of these people were killed around that time, and even after that, in the 80s and before that, we lost incredible souls for this race war. They were killed by KKK or like white policemen. So it's been quite common, but I'm very interested in that particular time where the Majesty went to America to visit John F. Kennedy, and then before that, I was really curious about his connection to Martin Luther King, and I learned that Martin Luther King has been invited for the 73rd birthday of the Majesty. I don't know whether they saw each other in person, but they were both nominated for Nobel Peace Prize at the same time. And also, I learned Malcolm X himself had visited Ethiopia in 1964, 2 years prior his death, his assassination. So all of these things, and I got an intuitive insight after like trying to to connect the dots between all of these things, these people, why they were why they existed at the same time, and not even that, not only that, the emperor, as we know, had the intention, still do have the intention, because his spirit is with us, to unite Africa, to unite all Black nation like together, you know. So that was the main drive behind his time as an emperor of Ethiopia, as kings of kings, as the nominees of as a nominee of the creator himself. So you know, the Majesty had started an organization called the Ethiopian World Federation in New York. So the main quarter is there in New York, and his main goal was like for people to become a member of Ethiopian World Federation, and there is be it's a good sign. It's a sign from the universe. I love it. So his main goal was for all of Black nations to awaken for their identity, to unite, you know, against the enemy, and then to do something about uh, African heritage, African history. You know, we are enough. We are enough. We have enough. Natural medicine. We have different, diverse cultures, beautiful cultures, and history hasn't been in our favor for a long time. So the Imperial Majesty, with that intention in his mind, he started the Ethiopian World Federation in New York. And also in his time, he was connected to John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And like why did they exist at the same time, and why were all of these influential people killed? And we don't know about the emperor. I can't say either. I don't know. We don't know in Ethiopia. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know how the emperor had died. Some people claim that he wasn't dead after even he was announced dead. And maybe you are a Rasta man. You can tell me what's kind of intuitive insight that you have around it. But for me, wondering about all of these people and the connection they have with each other, and of course, I'm on a mission. I made some of the incarnates of these people. Actually, American heroes, they aren't really dead. They aren't really dead. They are still alive. In this time of mass awakening, it makes sense. It only makes sense if they are around, right? So I met some of the incarnates of like these people, like the incarnates of Malcolm X. And I have a sense that I also met an incarnate of Martin Luther King. And it might not seem real for you, because these people have been very significant in history. Now, you wouldn't think that they are ordinary people moving amongst us, but time, everything has its own time. Maybe back then their time was in the 60s, and maybe in this lifetime their time is still coming. It's not still there is always a divine timing for everything. These people are, like I told you, that I have made the incarnates of some of these activists, speakers, the incarnates of all of these powerful Americans that I'm in touch with at the moment, both women and men. They are very excellent. They're very intelligent and intuitive and spiritual. It's just that I think they will learn eventually, and they are still learning and awakening and healing to the truth of their nature. And then I am sure they will start uh, being on a mission, on their mission. They are still on their mission. It's a matter of awareness, guys. For me, I have an immense awareness of my mission and how it's like. Sometimes I might be even, I might be taken away by it, by the urge, by the passion that I have for my mission. And some people are still working on their mission. They are moving to the countries that they're called to. They are reading history. They are still, creating art about it, and yet like they have a minimal awareness. Now, one of my intentions with this channel is to make you more aware of your mission, because spirit is wanting to communicate with all of us more than any time in the history of mankind. It's the time of mass awakening, guys. It's a time of mass awakening. It's very easy to find yourself. You were never lost in the first place, because especially as an African. We're indigenous, we're the first people on the planet. And that should tell you about, how game changer you can be. Like if with the cell, that's why most influential people, black people in history, have been killed. People like Tupac and people like, even Bob Marley. I don't believe his death was natural. They died young and they were assassinated. It's very heartbreaking. Maybe in this lifetime they are not willing, to do the same, because they've experienced a big trauma from how they were seen and mistreated in the past life, which I hope we're going to change together. I'm so happy that we are connected, like uh being Rasta is like, loving Africa, loving Ethiopia is like, um it's like having an affair. It's like, it's deep. How I love my country, how I love Africa, and how I love that I my skin is black, and um how I relate to it is really amazing. It makes me feel alive, honestly. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm a very proud African woman, and I know how beautiful it is to be African, to have black skin. So I want you to start to feel worthy. I want you to know that you're good enough. It's like how this world has been treating us. It's unfair, and we're here to correct it. Truth is interested in only justice. Truth is about justice. So anyways, I was wondering about the connection of America and Africa, and then I even asked why in this particular time, why is there tribal fights and conflict in Ethiopia? What's all these events that happened in the 60s and the events that's happening now? What is the connection between them? What are they trying to tell us, right? So I get a sense of, it's an intuitive feeling still, and I trust it, by the way. There's nothing you can do to change it, but I get a sense that the first human might be from Africa. The first human might be from Africa, but there are other indigenous people that were, I wouldn't say the first human was from Africa. Actually, I would say it was at the same time that first humans were created by the creator. It's existential. How I am going to connect it is more of an existential than history wise. So the first men were created, and then I think sent from above, and conquered the parts of the world which we would call in this time America and Africa at the same time. So, talking about indigenous people, I get a feeling that in both situations, like in America, it's Caribbeans or red Indians, right? Or red Americans, American Indians, African Americans. I know how the biggest role also slavery played in this, like the slaves that's been migrated from Africa to America, who are called now African Americans, are also original settlers of that land. You know, they can be seen as original settlers of that land. But before them, there were indigenous people in America that's been created equally as the same as the indigenous people in Africa. For Africa, it's In Ethiopia, the first human was found in Ethiopia. So as for the first, when Homo sapiens, the history of Homo sapiens, the first human was found in Ethiopia, whom we call Lucy, right? It's women, it's Lucy. But at the same time, seeing history even before Homo sapiens, like before 2000 to 200,000 years ago, 2000 years ago, even before that, I get a sense, like I saw a dream, a very interesting dream last night. I was tripping on shrooms in the dream, and I saw vivid colors, and I was very excited, and then I was purging something stagnant energy, and then I laughed hysterically. I laughed very, very a long laugh. So I think it's this information came from that experience in the dream. So it looks as if way before history was history, way before we knew that we were Homo sapiens and even recorded that history, some indigenous people were. on the planet, and they were in Africa and in the States at the same time. So where is this leading us? The connection that, like, why isn't Africa connected to Europe or Asia or India, other parts of the world, in the same way that she is connected to the States, America, right? So I think we have so much in common. The black people in the States and the black people in Africa, we have so much in common. We have a lot of wisdom and a lot of assets that was given to us by the creator. You can see, like Mayan civilization, for example. The most fascinating civilization in the history of mankind. They calculated time. How they understand time is just amazing. Like, the Mayans understood a lot of things, like not only basic things, but like some major events happened during the Mayan civilization. Aztec civilization also is a very excellent civilization. In Ethiopia, it's like Aksum civilization, Zagwe civilization, and even after that, Gondar and Shewa civilizations. So all of these civilizations are very unique in nature and existential in nature. Now I'm not only talking about culture or historical heritage in general. I'm not talking about wealth or like identity alone, but like some deeper meaning, like uh, in our quest to meaning, in our quest to understand self and existence. I think all of these civilizations and indigenous people who are living in areas like Amazon and uh, indigenous people who are here way, way, way before us have a lot to tell us, to teach us about our internal workings, about our body, our brain, and how our health. Okay, so we are very complex beings. We are still studying who we are and why we're here. So, anyways, that's what the emperor was aware of this. The emperor was visited the United States very, very often. I saw that he visited the States for more than 10 times in his lifetime. And also, he had contact. He had contact with the most powerful historical figures of the United States. If I say this much about the connection, uh, I would have to look at my notes. One of the biggest achievements that the emperor had uh, during his time is also the fact that he helped to establish African Union, and African Union is based in the headquarter is based in Addis Ababa. So it's on the same year of his nomination as the Nobel Peace Prize, that he established the African Union. So I mean, it's really interesting how our ancestors influence our evolution in general, to a point where I can't say the present even exists without the past. So it's very important to give credit to these heroes, to people before us. History is not only for school, it's not only for when you have exams and when you want to do good in your taste, but history has should be told every day, all day, every day. We should be telling, instead of fairy tales and books, like entertainment. I think we should just tell our kids about our history. I hope when I put my kids to bed, I would just tell them the histories of these people, because it's because of these people that we are motivated to act on the next phase of our evolution. So I would love to say happy birthday to Martin Luther King. I'm very proud of him. I'm thinking of him. I'm sending love and respect to his soul wherever he is at this point in life. I am very respectful of American heroes the same way that I'm respectful of Ethiopian heroes. In Ethiopia we had like histories of Adwa battle. We beat Italy in the war that's called Adwa. That's why we were never colonized. And in the same way, all of these people, heroes in America, they fought for their civil rights. They stood for women and children because it was too much. It was too much what was being done to them by the white men and by the officials of the United States. I am hopeful that we are going to change this in the coming few years by collaborating. Africa and America. It's time for us to come together and to use our history and our ancestors, the guidance of our ancestors and our angels, to arrive at a destination that we deserve. It's time for us. I get a feeling, I feel it in my soul, I feel it in my veins that it's time for Africa to rise. Even these bees, testifying to that. I'm happy to have you around here. I'm happy to have you in my life. Please like reflect on this video. It's not that it's not because I made this video because I'm very passionate about the histories of these people, and also I'm a believer that when we come together and when we use our voice, when we speak for our people, we can create a big change, positive change in the world. And I'm here for it. So please share your opinions, your intuitive insights, or your revelations. Share any Bible verse that can support what I said, or even your original thought. It could be your original thought. Anything, share it with me. I believe in you, the Rastaman, because we preserve our history because of you, because you have the humbleness and the openness to give credit, to acknowledge the people that need to be acknowledged. And even the imperial majesty is not respected in his country, but in the outside world, he's he's respected, he is recognized. So I applaud you for that. I respect you. I love you. I will see you in the next video. Happy birthday to our Martin Luther King. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. It's his day. I'm very happy to have this remembrance, to have this inspiration and motivation from him. I will see you in the next video. God bless. Rastafari.